Right now at 5, a longtime restaurant on Route 66 in Afton, Oklahoma says it expects to reopen this week after a fire.
And we get some patchy fog, a couple of stray showers in southeast Kansas, otherwise clearing out and getting warm again. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
The government shutdown extends into a third week with no signs of progress on Capitol Hill to end the deadlock. I'm Erica Brown with more on the impact of the standoff.
Most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday, October the 15th, halfway through the week, and it's going to be another very warm day across the area. And we do have a couple of stray showers out there this morning. Not much to them, but they are there. And we also have some patchy fog to get through this morning as well. We're going to start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and there you can see we're looking good there. No patchy fog in the Pittsburgh area. Now, again, my drive in here did run into some patchy fog here and there. Especially, of course, on Old 96 coming up into Cherokee County. So that's not too terribly unexpected, but I'll show you the fog tracker. We'll show you where more of that is. Our camera 7th and range line looks good. MoDOT camera 20th and range line also looking pretty good this morning. So also want to show you Skywatch storm tracker. Now, before anybody freaks out, you see how these are almost all the same size and shape down here? This is just a little radar glitch. The only real showers we have are up here in extreme northern Bourbon County and parts of Lynn County. This activity along 35 is also real rain, but you can also see there's not much to it. We've had just a couple of these little showers flare up. They are progressively dying out, and they should continue to do so. We've got the fog to contend with. Now, here's the thing, though. Remember, the fog tracker relies on point data, and it fills in the gaps based on that reporting station data. There's no reporting station in between here and there, and I'm telling you, I ran into some fog out there. So while we are seeing reduced visibilities around the Grand Lake area, stretching into parts of Newton and McDonald counties, you do need to be on the lookout for additional potential patchy fog out there this morning. Once it burns off today, looks fantastic. Again, it's fantastic if it was September, but it's not. It's October. We got sunny skies, warm temperatures across the area, and a light southeasterly breeze. Speaking of temperatures, thanks to the fact we didn't have clouds last night, some of us a little cooler, some of us still mild. Iola is sitting at 67, tied with Carthage and Joplin for the warm spot. Sedan. So you got to take a quick scan of the map. The cool spot at 61. All of us sitting in the 60s. All of us still well above average. Against the patchy fog could continue through the mornings. Kids head out the door mid 60s, about 81 for lunch and recess, 84 as they head home with those clear skies out there. We'll go near 70 by 9, low 80s by noon, and we're looking right about the mid 80s for our highs today. Could get some upper 80s in our southern counties out there. And we still have those chances for thunderstorms heading into Friday and Saturday. Of course, Saturday's the Maple Leaf Festival and Parade in Carthage. We're going to go over the details on those storms, tell you what we're looking at so far and what you need to know here in just a few more minutes, Elise.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Joplin authorities make an arrest in a shooting incident from Monday night. The incident happened around 9:30 p.m. Officers responded to reports of gunshots at the Hillside Estates in Newton County. Authorities discovered there had been a disturbance between multiple people at one of the homes. Now, according to the report, a man drew a handgun and fired several shots towards other people. The man ran to another home but surrendered 2 hours later to authorities. No one was injured. The suspect is being held at the Newton County Jail. A request for formal charges has been submitted to the Newton County prosecutor. And despite a fire Tuesday night, a longtime restaurant on Route 66 in Afton, Oklahoma, says it expects to reopen this week. Fire broke out around 9 p.m. at the Green Country Cafe on US 69 just off I-44. Afton Fire Chief Brad Jones says the fire started in the kitchen area, but smoke damaged the entire building. The restaurant had closed early due to equipment problems with their grill. No one was injured. And an overturned semi creates a headache for travelers on Route H near Pineville. The big rig shut down traffic, as you can see from this picture, in both directions. It took some time, but crews finally got out of the rig and the trailer of the road. Well, today marks 2 full weeks since the shutdown of the federal government began. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill.
I'm an air traffic controller here. Do you want to help aviation safety by ending the shutdown?
This member of the Air Traffic Controllers Union handed leaflets to travelers outside Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia, Tuesday to highlight the impact of the ongoing government shutdown.
The American worker that lives paycheck to paycheck, which is almost every air traffic controller, cannot last without pay. In a social media post, the White House Office of Management and Budget said Tuesday that it is preparing to, quote, ride out the Democrats by continuing to pay troops and law enforcement and more reduction in force notices.
We are closing up Democrat programs that we disagree with, and they're never going to open again.
At a news conference, Democrats called the Trump administration's layoffs illegal.
Firing and threatening to fire federal employees is part of the Trump administration's campaign to inflict trauma on our federal workforce.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has warned this shutdown could be the longest in history as lawmakers remain deadlocked. But President Trump says his administration has identified funds to at least pay the military, a move some Democrats say is likely illegal.
My understanding of this is they have every right to move the funds around. If the Democrats want to go to court and challenge troops being paid, bring it.
The Senate is planning another vote Tuesday evening on funding the government, but there are no signs of any progress to end the stalemate. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced yesterday that U.S. Coast Guard personnel will also continue to receive paychecks despite the shutdown. The statement said the department worked out an innovative solution to pay members of the Coast Guard, but did not give more details. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News.
Helping children and teens through grief. I'm Cristian Benavides with how one nonprofit is helping young people through group and animal therapy.
Plus, new research reveals loneliness increases the risk of dying from cancer by 11%. And Chris returns with another look at today's forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 5:07. We'll be right back. Well, topping World Watch this morning, Hamas is facing new threats from Washington and Tel Aviv after turning over just 8 remains so far. Around 20 bodies of deceased hostages are believed to still be in Gaza. On social media, President Trump wrote, "The job is not done. The dead have not been returned as promised." The president also warns that Hamas could face consequences if it does not disarm. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Just days into the historic Middle East peace deal, frustration is growing. Hamas has returned only a handful of remains of deceased hostages held in Gaza.
I want them back.
Tuesday, President Trump demanded that Hamas hand over the rest of the bodies, writing on social media, "The job is not done." The president also issued this threat after Hamas rejected calls to give up its weapons, a key term of phase 2 of the ceasefire deal.
If they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm.
In an exclusive CBS News interview, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the fragile agreement depends on Hamas keeping its word.
First, Hamas has to give up its arms. And second, you want to make sure that there are no weapons factories inside Gaza. There's no smuggling of weapons into Gaza. That's demilitarization. I hope we can do this peacefully.
Both Hamas and the Red Cross have warned that the destruction in Gaza has made it difficult to recover some of the bodies, and the process will take time. Israel had threatened to reduce the number of aid trucks allowed into Gaza after Hamas initially returned just 4 bodies. After Hamas handed over the remains of 4 more late Tuesday, Israeli news reported that the country has decided to reopen the Rafah crossing with Egypt to allow in more food and supplies. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now, the Hostages and Missing Families Forum, a group representing the hostage families, called for the peace plan to be suspended until every deceased individual is returned. Though one family member of a deceased hostage told Reuters that going back to war should not be an option. Still to come, Keanu Reeves trades his action hero roles for angel wings in the new film Good Fortune. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. An unconventional angel is chosen to protect LA, and there's a big shakeup on Survivor. Glenn Baumgartner has your Eye on Entertainment report.
I'm an angel. See the wings? Fans already view Keanu Reeves as an angel on Earth. Well, now he's actually cast as one, portraying Gabriel, wings and all, in the upcoming film Good Fortune.
Wait, you're telling me I have a budget guardian angel?
Kinda.
Gabriel is tasked with protecting people who text and drive, but soon things go awry. Good Fortune premieres in theaters this Friday. While promoting his latest film, Reeves was the latest actor to pay tribute to the late Academy Award winner Diane Keaton.
Wow, but such a unique, extraordinary artist and person. You know, I had the chance to work with her once and really cherish that experience, you know, getting the chance to work with her.
Actress Amanda Seyfried shared in those praises, working alongside Keaton in 2015.
I think she was just really outspoken, and I think it was kind of beautiful the way she saw the world, the way she talked about it, and the way she communicated through it.
Keaton died on Saturday at the age of 79. Tonight, Survivor castaways are pushed to their breaking point.
No, it's all good. It was going to happen.
The latest episode brings an unexpected shakeup and grueling challenges. Survivor airs tonight on CBS and Paramount+. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, and we've got some patchy fog out there. A couple of stray showers in our northern counties. Those are dying out, and then we're going to clear out and warm up once again. But we're also still watching those storm chances this weekend. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:19 now on this Wednesday morning. We do have some patchy fog out there. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I ran into some patchy fog and not significantly reduced visibilities, but reduced visibilities right through here. So the fog tracker does rely on point data, observation point data, and then it fills in the gaps between observation points. And so if we're missing data or if there's not an observation point in that particular location, so, Joplin, Pittsburgh not reporting fog, even though there's fog in between, it doesn't necessarily always show up. So just bear in mind that while things do look good, there's going to be some patchy fog out there that may not necessarily show up on the fog tracker that you got to be aware of. So just be prepared for that. Again, this activity, this is just a radar blip. I think it's coming out of Oklahoma City's radar. We do have a few isolated showers out here in our far northern counties. Not expecting really much out of them, but again, we honestly weren't expecting any shower activity. We just had this weak wave pass through, and it's managed to generate a few of these isolated showers. And once that all clears out, we are looking at sunny skies heading into the afternoon today. And it will remain that way. And of course, our temperatures will remain above normal. Our Thursday, much of the same. Clear skies initially. Could get some clouds maybe by the afternoon, but I think it'll be late evening that clouds will start thickening up and will start going mostly cloudy as we roll overnight Thursday into Friday. Now, Friday is where we see the first initial round of some of the thunderstorm chances. But right now, the future track is holding those storm chances. We have to go all the way to the end of this thing's data. At Saturday at 1 o'clock. That's when the short-range future track runs out of data. And that's when you see our line of storms starting to push into the northwestern counties in our area into southeastern Kansas. So that's that first round. We do have now, and I'm not surprised, honestly, we talked about it yesterday, we do now have a level 1 out of 5 risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms across most of the region for Friday. And this is really going to be, again, remember how all these days work. This will be for Friday night into Saturday morning. That's the thing I want to mention too. First off, there's been posts on social media from other weather people, or so they say, and they're freaking out. They're going, "Oh, tornado out!" They're doing all this crazy stuff. That's not expected. And I know we've talked about this with emphasis the last day and a half, but it's not because we're expecting a significant severe weather outbreak. It boils down to what's happening this weekend, again, especially in the Carthage. Between the parade and the events on the square, it's 50,000 people outside. We've had rainy maple leafs in the past. We haven't really often had a risk of strong to severe thunderstorms with that many folks outside. So that's why we're putting this emphasis on, is it's just a huge event with a huge crowd outdoors on a day where we could see some stronger storms. So that's why you really need to stay weather aware. Once this patchy fog burns off, we're low 60s to start, upper 70s by 11. We'll go low to mid 80s for our highs today, and again, maybe some upper 80s down south. Still clear skies for the evening and overnight, down again into the upper 50s and low 60s. And I want to take you on the longer range future track, and remember, because it's longer range, it's giving a broader view of expectations. So, and you can see it's showing the possibility of showers and storms a little earlier than what the short range one showed, and I'd say that's at least a possibility. But as we go overnight, shower and thunderstorm coverage continues to increase, and by parade time, we have scattered showers and storms across the area, and again, some of these could be strong to low-grade severe. Now, some good news at least for Saturday is while it could be soggy and while we could get some stronger storms, you see this big yellow and orange area here. This is where there is a slightly greater severe risk, and that's the other thing for Saturday. It still gets the eastern portions of our area, but yesterday it lined up almost through Carthage back up into St. Clair County, so it's been moved a little further to the south and east, and hopefully that continues. Between here and there, though, still mid 80s out there, a little cooler this weekend, seasonably cool on Sunday, and then still bouncing around with our temperatures next week, some isolated storm chances next Wednesday. So again, just not expecting a significant severe weather outbreak Friday into Saturday. It's just with a lot of outdoor events, a lot of folks outdoors, you just want to make sure you're staying weather aware. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. So loneliness and social isolation could increase the risk of dying from cancer. A study published by the British Medical Journal found cancer patients who experience loneliness face an 11% greater risk of death. Now, it's believed the stress response of isolation can negatively impact the immune system. Loneliness is also associated with cognitive problems and sleep disorders. And over half of Americans believe the misconception that women can't safely give birth in their 40s. An Orlando Health survey finds many people aren't aware of new medical advancements that help women over 40 have safer pregnancies. Doctors say women should talk with their obstetricians about the best ways to ensure a healthy pregnancy. And hearing the sound of their mother's voice helps premature babies' brains develop. A Stanford medicine study had mothers read to their hospitalized preemies. The babies whose mothers read to them developed their language part of the brain faster than babies who didn't hear their mother's voices. The research suggests language development begins much earlier than previously thought. Working through grief is challenging, especially for young children and teens, but one group has found a way to bring comfort with the help of four-legged friends. Christian Benavides reports.
When Teray Smith died last November, his 7-year-old daughter Sage struggled with traditional therapy as she grieved her father's untimely death.
When he passed, it was a shock for everyone. It's like no closure because he was there, then he was gone.
Michelle Doss, Smith's mother and Sage's grandmother, who she lives with, came across the nonprofit Tomorrow's Rainbow, where group therapy for children is coupled with equine-assisted therapy, allowing children to interact with horses.
My favorite horse is Precious because every time I look at Precious, I see my dad in the eyes.
This therapy in Coconut Creek, Florida, has helped Sage and her cousin, Denham Doss, who are both the same age and have grown up together, grieve Smith's passing.
It helps me show my emotions.
My husband was killed instantly, and my son and I were both hospitalized.
Abby Mosher started Tomorrow's Rainbow after coping with her own personal tragedy.
It brings a real holistic approach so that the children can take their own personal grief journey.
The nonprofit offers the therapy at no cost to the family, and all the animals on the farm are rescues. It is funded almost entirely through donations, so families do not face any obstacles as they seek treatment for their kids.
Imagine the financial barrier that would be if we had to charge families for that. Remove the social isolation, give children the opportunity to bring out what's going on inside of them, all those thoughts and worries, and realize that they're not alone.
The therapy has brought Smith's family one step closer to healing.
They open up about their grief. They get to open it up. They get to speak about their grief. It's hard to get them up for school, but when I say, okay, therapy, 8 o'clock, they're up.
Finding a path forward despite the tough road ahead. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Coconut Creek, Florida.
Now, tomorrow's Rainbow opened a second ranch in upstate South Carolina where they are also offering therapy to children and teens. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a local recycling service struggles to survive mounting losses.
And we've got a few isolated showers in some of our northern counties. Otherwise, we're going to start to clear out and our warm temperatures sticking around. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a discussion of groundwater concerns at the site of an old Miami manufacturing site.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday, October the 15th, halfway through this work week, getting closer to the weekend. And we've got a few isolated showers out there this morning, a little foggy out there this morning as well,
right, yeah.
but still very warm as we head into the afternoon. We did get a little cooler last night than where we were the last couple of nights out there. We're going to start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and there it is. And it looks pretty good so far. Same from our camera there at 7th and Range Line in Joplin, and the MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin, looking pretty good as well this morning. So first, Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've got some showers here. Greenwood County, Coffee, Anderson, Lynn counties, just again well up north here. This, by the way, again is not really there. It's some kind of blip coming off of and following that path and where it cuts off. I think it's coming off the Oklahoma City radar some way, somehow. And then we have one stray shower into northern Bourbon County. So again, just a weak little pulse that's managed to, that's not real either, by the way. You can see how it doesn't move. But we have had this little pulse with some light showers out there this morning in our far northern counties. So we'll see how they play out because, again, they weren't expected, in all honesty. And just because the little wave that was coming through wasn't expected to be able to do much, but it's generated a few isolated showers. We also have some patchy fog out there. Of course, the Grand Lake area, always a common source for fog down here. So we've got reduced visibilities, Grove, Delaware, Ottawa, parts of Newton and McDonald counties as well. But also remember, as I've discussed, the fog tracker relies on point data. And if there's not an observation point, for example, my ride here with patchy fog on Old 96, well, there's no observation points in between. And Pittsburgh and Joplin aren't reporting fog. So it doesn't show the fog. It shows it based on reporting station data and then fills in the gaps with those white colors we see, showing fog out there. So if you don't have any fog at your major reporting stations, it won't show any, even though there may be some. So do be cautious. Outside of that, we are clear today and we are dry. Not much on the future track other than our southeasterly breeze, really. Our temperatures this morning, some of it's still fairly mild. We do have some upper 60s up north. Right now, Iola looks to be the warm spot, sitting at 67, along with Joplin and Carthage. And we've got a number of 61-degree readings now. Cassville, Anderson, Grove, Jay, and Sedan. Now, all of that's still above normal, but for many of us, cooler than where we were yesterday morning because we lost the cloud cover. Kids out the door, some patchy fog. We'll see what those isolated showers do. Mid-60s, otherwise clear skies. 81 by lunch and recess, 84 as they head home. We're going to go near 70 by 9. Fog should burn off by 9. And then we'll go low 80s by noon. Our highs, once again, mid 80s out there, maybe some upper 80s in our southern counties. Now, we're still watching the thunderstorm chances from Friday into Saturday. We're going to break down those details for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. So the SCK Recycling Center has operated in Crawford County for more than 2 decades, but now those running the nonprofit say it's at risk of closing as soon as by the end of the year. Recent years have brought on financial stress as money brought in by materials remains the same or even decreases as operating costs continue to grow. On average, the center loses $10 for every car that comes through with the donation. Staff have even met with a consultant to see where they can make cuts, but they say community support is needed for them to survive. Well, some good news for the city of Pittsburgh. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment will provide $45 million to help fund improvements to the city's wastewater treatment facility. The funding will be used to build a new facility just north of the existing wastewater treatment plant. Now, the new plant will treat just over 4 million gallons per day. The new treatment facility will serve the city as well as the Sugar Creek processing plant. And a group of people in Joplin have started a petition asking the city to change the way it deals with homelessness. The petition calls on the city council to end ticketing and arrest for nonviolent survival-related actions. The ticketing of a homeless person in front of the Mini Hackney Center on Saturday sparked the petition. Callahead was ticketed for allegedly camping in front of the center. She tells KOAM she was waiting for the center to open.
Okay, so to redirect, the current stance on it, which is ticketing and stuff, to housing, mental health facilities, just resources that are available, to be available for the community instead of just punishing them, essentially.
Residents in Miami, Oklahoma will get an update, on efforts to clean up contaminated groundwater at the former B.F. Goodrich tire plant. Michelin, which now oversees this site, and the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality hosted a public meeting at 5:30 at NEO A&M College yesterday. Officials plan to share the latest on the groundwater treatment system that's been running to contain a contaminated groundwater area beneath the property, a concern that's lingered for decades. Community members will also have a chance to ask questions about the ongoing cleanup. And now you can, of course, stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. It's also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. Well, a heartfelt event took place in Kansas City, Missouri, as residents organized Tucker's Parade to honor 3-year-old Tucker Langford, who has a rare condition known as butterfly skin. After leaving the hospital for hospice, the community rallied with police cruisers, fire trucks, and supportive signs. Tucker's condition causes extreme pain from missing skin on his body. A recent hospital visit revealed his body attacking his heart, leading to an enlarged heart with fluid. The community's love and support shown through this special parade. And Taco Tuesday took place over at Carthage Central Park yesterday evening. The Carthage, Missouri Chamber of Commerce hosted the event as part of this week's Maple Leaf Festival activities. The celebration featured a taco contest where local vendors competed for the best tacos in town, with award announcements and all proceeds supporting Carthage R9 scholarships. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A surprising survey reveals major gaps in America's estate planning. Plus, lithium batteries hidden in old gadgets create dangerous fires at recycling plants. We'll have the latest time now, 5:37. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, Instagram has announced a new policy aimed at protecting kids online. Instagram's teen users will only see content on the app that's similar to what they might see while watching a film with a PG-13 rating. Now, the site will hide or limit more mature or sensitive content for those under 18, like swear words, risky stunts, and accounts that routinely post adult content. Every teen account will automatically be opted in. While tossing out lithium batteries can be a real fire hazard, especially when they're hidden inside old gadgets like toys or laptops. A recycling plant in England is using artificial intelligence to stop the danger before it starts. AI-powered cameras scan electronic waste on conveyor belts, and when they spot a battery, a quick blast of air knocks it out of the pile. And engineers say the small system can detect all kinds of batteries and help recover valuable metals before they're lost to the landfill. Well, the Social Security Administration is delaying its annual announcement of next year's cost of living adjustments, citing the ongoing federal government shutdown. The agency usually makes public its determinations when the September inflation data is announced, but that is also delayed. Both figures are now expected to be released on October 24th. However, the shutdown does not affect those who've applied for a federal income tax extension. Today is the last day for many of those Americans to file. And Ben's Original is voluntarily recalling some packages of its long grain, white, whole grain brown, and long grain and wild ready rice because they could contain small stones. The company says the stones are naturally occurring in the rice field According to an FDA notice, no illnesses have been reported, and the company is taking steps to remove the product from stores and contact customers. And tens of thousands of Kaiser Permanente nurses and healthcare workers have gone on strike in California, Hawaii, and Oregon, demanding better wages and staffing. The workers are requesting a 25% pay increase over 4 years. The company counteroffer at 21.5%. Kaiser Permanente says clinics and hospitals will remain open, though some elective procedures may be rescheduled. The 5-day strike is expected to end this weekend. Well, Estate Planning Awareness Week is coming up next week. Time to create or review your plan and update key documents. But according to a recent study, only 24% of Americans have a will. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to help increase that number.
A recent Caring.com survey found that just 1 in 4 American adults has a will. And surprisingly, the so-called sandwich generation was the largest group without estate documents. While this kind of planning isn't fun, you need to overcome any anxieties associated with the emotional topic and take control. If you don't, the state where you live will determine who should get what, and a local probate court will use a preset formula to divvy up your property and assets. Most people need 3 documents: a will, a durable power of attorney, and a healthcare proxy. A will ensures that your assets are passed to your designated beneficiaries in accordance with your wishes. If you have minor children, you need to name a guardian for them. A healthcare proxy allows you to appoint someone to make healthcare decisions on your behalf if you lose the ability to do so. And a durable power of attorney allows you to appoint someone to act as your financial agent in a variety of circumstances, like withdrawing money from a bank, responding to a tax inquiry, or making a trade. If your circumstances are straightforward, you may be able to complete these documents online. Those with more complex situations, like a second marriage, family estrangement, a special needs family member, or significant assets, should use a qualified estate planning attorney in their state. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Now, some companies offer estate planning and legal services as part of their benefits package, and according to that survey, the main reason for putting off estate planning is good old procrastination. 43% of people said they just hadn't gotten around to it yet. And that's a look at Consumer Watch. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got, again, some patchy fog out there, a couple of isolated showers as well. We're going to clear out and remain warm, and we're still keeping an eye on those storm chances as we head toward the weekend. Full details in the forecast when we come back. Time now, 5:44.
Love spicy food, but of course not when it's too spicy. Well, researchers have found a solution. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Another day brings a new issue in the tit-for-tat moves between the U.S. and China. Now, China on Tuesday is sanctioning U.S. units of a South Korean shipping giant. It also threatened further retaliatory measures on the shipping industry. Bloomberg says the sanctions targeted 5 U.S. units of Hanwha Ocean, causing global stock markets to slump. Now, shipping is just one point of contention in the China-U.S. relationship that has kept global investors on edge in recent days. The government shutdown means no harvest progress updates from USDA, but some agencies are conducting their own. Reuters polling 10 analysts who say, on average, corn harvest is 44% complete. That's compared to a year ago when USDA had said 47% had met with the combine. And the soybean crop was at 58% harvested as of Sunday. A year ago, that 67% of the soybean harvest was complete. And is your dinner too spicy? Well, science may now be able to dial down the temperature before you take a bite. Researchers at The Ohio State University report identifying molecules that can temper the heat of chili peppers. They say the research could be used to breed chili peppers that have a specific heat profile or create a natural form of a chili pepper that you can just sprinkle on your food to take the hot edge off. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
All right, let's take it over now to Chris for a full look at today's forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker this morning, where we do have some isolated showers out there. So what we've got is a weak wave that was passing through. Wasn't expected to do much, but it has triggered some showers, parts of Greenwood, Anderson, Coffee, Lynn counties. And, of course, we've had some radar blips this morning. So, like this thing northeast of Iola is not actually there. Neither is what's in southwestern Bourbon County or this activity down here. This, if you follow that line, it's coming. Actually, I think it's coming from further. It's coming from this radar site. That's what's causing that line of random stuff. But what is happening is this activity here. Not much to it, but we weren't expecting it, so we'll just kind of see how long it sticks around. We're otherwise dry across the region, and we do have some patchy fog, but skies are expected to clear as we roll into the afternoon. And we will just simply have sunny skies and dry conditions as we go through our Wednesday. We go overnight tonight into tomorrow, clear skies again. So, again, our lows will be cool, still almost 20 degrees above normal, but they'll at least be cooler than where they were the last couple of days. As we go into Thursday, right now we're expecting sunny skies, but Future Track is suggesting clouds a little earlier in the day, and I think we'll get clouds. I just don't think they'll start thickening up until later in the day Thursday and as we head into Friday. So now I'm going to get to show you a couple of interesting things. We'll start with the short range Future Track. This goes through Saturday at 1 a.m. and then it runs out of data. So you can see Friday, most of the day we are dry, we're just dealing with those clouds. And then by about 1 o'clock, that's when we see showers, thunderstorms start pushing into our northwestern counties. But the long range Future Track disagrees and has these same storms here, but earlier, closer to 10 o'clock. So we'll show you that in just a moment. Now with Friday, no surprise here, really. A level 1 out of 5 risk has been added, but it's going to be for the late evening and overnight hours, Friday into Saturday morning. And again, we've talked about the thunderstorms this weekend, and I'll be honest, I feel like maybe the way we've presented it is we're expecting some massive severe weather outbreak, or that may be how it sounds. That's not the case. The only reason we're putting an emphasis on the severe weather risk heading into Friday and Saturday is simply, again, with the Carthage Maple Leaf Parade, the festivities going on. It's 50,000 people outside in Carthage on a day where we could have some isolated severe weather. So that's why we're putting the emphasis on it. It's not because we're expecting, the heavens to open up here and bring doom and destruction. It's just there's a lot of folks that are going to be outside that need to remain weather aware. And, of course, keep in mind that very important phrase, when thunder roars, head indoors. So some patchy fog continues through 8, maybe 9 at the latest, and we'll go low 60s to start, upper 70s by 11. Our highs today still well above average as we go right around the mid 80s, maybe even some upper 80s in our southern counties. Overnight tonight, clear skies will continue, and we'll drop back once again into some upper 50s and low 60s. So this is the long range Future Track, and I wanted to show you on Friday by 10 o'clock. See, the same storms are there that you saw on the short range one, but they're about 3 hours earlier. But either way, shower storms begin pushing in with this front, and they become more widespread in coverage. And through the overnight hours and into the start of the Maple Leaf Parade itself, these showers and storms could be strong, potentially severe, at least low-grade severe. So that's why we just want to monitor it. Is we've had rainy days on Maple Leaf in the past, and that's usually not a big deal. But what is uncommon is the threat for severe weather on Maple Leaf. So that's why we are just putting that emphasis out here. Now for Saturday, some strong to low-grade severe storms will be possible. At this point, it looks as though the greatest severe threat is going to remain off to our south and east, and the Saturday risk area has actually been pushed slightly southeast. It did come right about to Carthage, right up through here into St. Clair County, so it's been moved a little southeast, but does still include the area, especially into parts of southwest Missouri. So we want to watch it still very closely out there. Outside of that, again, just staying warm, low mid 80s all the way through Friday. Seasonably cool on Sunday, bouncing back and forth on temperatures next week with more shower and storm chances next Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to head over to Elise now with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. So the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons have been a mainstay atop the boys soccer standings and are one of 2 teams in Class 5A boys soccer with 10 wins. The Purple Dragons looking for a second straight win yesterday, hosting Chanute. The Purple Dragons returning home for senior night after beating Field Kinley on the road on Monday. Now, early first half, Blue Comets on the attack. Alex Ogle finds Lawrence Cheney and his one-timer tickles the twine to give Chanute an early lead. Later in the half, still 1-0 off the Pittsburgh corner kick. Luke Moss's header sneaks over Jared Cleaver in goal and appears to hit over the line, but the referee says no goal. But just a few minutes later, Dragons back on the attack. Anderson Mota Hernandez finds Abner Salas in the box and finds the net and the equalizer as Pittsburgh improves to 11-3 on the season with a 5-4 win over Chanute on senior night. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, the Oberman Student Center at PSU was filled with eager students yesterday looking for future career opportunities. Local businesses and organizations were on standby at this year's fall career fair for students to get a glimpse into what the workforce would be like. It's a chance to create connections for the future.
And we've got some patchy fog out there through about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, we'll start clearing out and got low 60s to start. And we're going to go upper 70s by 11 a.m. Looking at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, we still have some of those scattered showers in our northern counties. We'll keep an eye on those as well, just because there was a weak wave that was passing through. Wasn't expected to generate much of anything. And like I said, these are very isolated showers, but since we weren't expecting them this morning, we'll just have to kind of see how long they hang on. They're mainly confined along and north of the 54 corridor, but like I said, we'll monitor them. Nothing strong, nothing severe. We'll just see how long they hang out. All right, outside of that, again, clearing, low mid 80s, maybe some upper 80s in our southern counties today. Clear skies through the evening and overnight, back down into the upper 50s and low 60s. Mid 80s continue through Friday. Still watching the possibility of some strong to low grade severe storms late Friday, overnight, and into Saturday. So again, heading to Maple Leaf, you've got to be weather aware out there. We're upper 70s on Saturday, low 70s, so seasonably cool on Sunday. More rain chances next Wednesday. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.